That's starting to sound a lot like my knees. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 113, lucky 13, of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through the projects that I'm working on and how creaky my chair is getting. This show is all about projects that I'm working on, things that are on the bench, things that need more attention, things that need to be turned on. It is Christmas after all. And this episode's no different. This is a good episode because if you are following along or participating in the Youmagine build along that I'm doing right now for the Volvo C303, then there are major updates. Look at this beauty. This is a 3D printed body available on Youmagine, and I will be sure to put a link down below. They're offering a nice 20% discount with the SBG20 discount code. And you can buy 3D printing kits like this one here. This is from Ahead RC, and it's based on a Volvo C303. This is the cab-only version with the flatbed option, which is available as well. I've started building this on a VS410 builder's kit with a few changes. This has got portal axles underneath it from the VRD stance. Ready to run. I've also created my own Volvo C303 wheels, as you can see. These are not a beadlock, they're just a glue-on. They are 3D printed, but I am pretty chuffed with how they turned out. I designed those in Fusion 360 to match the rest of this whole Volvo thing we've got going on here. And it is a really nice kit. The instructions that come with this, fantastic. So easy to follow. Lots of nice detail parts. There's all kinds of hinges. You can make these doors actually function as real hinged doors if you like. All the little details for headlights and such, all of those haven't been printed yet. I'm going to do those in resin. But it's a really great kit and it's a really fun build along. We're doing it on Discord. I'm also doing it on the forum. There will be links down below to both of those places, so you can go check them out. I thought I was going to go with this tractor tire here, which, you know, this is the vibe. It's the look for sure. Maybe we'll throw those on there to see what they look like. But I like the look of these Toyo open countries. I know that technically this probably wouldn't be a tire you could even get in the size you would need for a Volvo C303, but they look good. It's got the right width and kind of track. And I do like the tread pattern. I think that looks really good on here too. And they just fill out the wheel well nicely, as you can see. Now, this is not a typical C303. I know they do a cab-only version and you can get a flatbed style, but most of them are the full van. Just a full big box. But it looks really good on the VS410. It'll also look great on SCX10 2, I think they've got files for, and 3. But I know some other people, there's Teleguided is doing one on a C-Max chassis. There's all sorts of options. Now, originally, I did want to use those Mad Moose axles. However, the drop of the pumpkin is on the wrong side for the VFD. Someone suggested I do a 3-gear transmission instead, but I wanted to keep it all Vanquish underneath. I really do like that VRD transmission. I just think it works so much better than anything else on the market right now. Yeah, it all just kind of fell together so far. I have done a ton of sanding already, mostly on the cab and the doors. These fenders have also been sanded as well. Those are worth a look. See over here. Oh yeah, that's a nice angle right there. Look at that big old Swedish box. It's flat pack like IKEA. I've done a lot of sanding already on some of these elements. The whole side of these panels needs to be sanded. The inside flatbed, that's already been sanded. Can we get a look at that without anything falling off? Yes we can. That's a really nice piece too. I printed it in 2 parts, but did a little bit of filler and sanded that out, so that all looks really nice and smooth. I like the texture back there, and I'm really looking... Yep, there we go. I knew a piece was gonna fall off. But I'm really happy with this so far. I cannot wait to get this into primer and paint. I'm kind of excited about what's possible. I may do something a little bit different with paint. I'm not really sure yet, but it's an awesome kit and it's a fun build along. Richard has decided not to do a full-size one. He's doing one on FCX 24, I think. So that's the beauty of these 3D printed files. You are really limited by your imagination only. And there's no better printer than the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon, my favorite printer of all time. So plug and play. It's just fantastic. This is all ABS too, so I can use styrene glue on any of these panels to stick stuff to it if I want to, which I will be doing, obviously. All of the door handles, there's doors for these little storage compartments that have a hinge on them as well. So all kinds of little bits and pieces that will all be styrene glued on here, which just really makes it great. In the instructions and in this file, Ahead RC provides DXFs for all of the windows. So if you want to do these properly, cut them all out in a template on your Cricut, apply those templates to a nice piece of medium thick Lexan, like an 040 would probably be good. And then you'll get perfect cuts, perfect shapes, and they will sit in this body very nicely. Now I've temporarily glued these door panels on here just for the sake of doing it. You can see there's a recess around all of the window panels, so you can get a Lexan piece to sit in there, and then there is another piece that will go over top of that to seal everything together. It's a really great system, really great file. A lot of time and effort was spent putting it together, and we have to thank Youmagine, of course, for hosting all of these great RC-only files. Really, really great. If you're interested in that Casey Daylighter lamp, I actually made that myself. I saw another one on Maker World, but for whatever reason, the files weren't downloading properly, so I said, heck, I'll make my own. So that's what I did. Found the file online for the actual artwork, converted it, made it into a 3D printable file, and it uses the Bambu Labs 60mm light lamp accessory. You can make that for your dad or your uncle or your grandpa or anybody that knows what a Casey Daylighter is. I think it's pretty cool though, and I gotta say, it turned out way better than I thought it was going to as well. Yeah, it's just a really nice, fun little desk accessory, and you should probably get yourself one of those. Because if you're not making, what are you doing? All in all, a very fun build and a very fun way to share. And another great way to share is through the YouTube members only channel, where I share all kinds of tips and tricks, behind the scenes, how-tos, travel logs, all kinds of fun stuff that you don't get on the regular channel. Think of it as a much smaller audience where it's a little more one-on-one and a lot more raw. You don't get all this production value. It's mostly shot on my phone. But it is an excellent way for us to interact and share and get a different side of the Scale Builders Guild. And if that's something you're interested in, there will be a link down below. End of the segue, on to the next thing. Next on the bench, we've got the Traxxas I was gonna call this a TRX4. This is the Forte 2.0 Drift, and you might notice some lighting changes. Well, yes, I've got the underglow lighting kit installed, along with every other single upgrade that they offer for the Forte Drift. Let's take the body off and I'll run you through all the things. Now, of course, I do like very much this Forte Drift and how easy it is to drift. That's one thing that makes this quite a good beginner car, is that they offer a lot of really great driver assists to make, you know, your youth look way better than he probably would. Confidence is key as well. So if you are better at drifting the first time you do it, you're more likely to do it again. And a lot of the guys at the local track really did like this car a lot. So why not try throwing all of the upgrades on it and see how much better we can make it? And there's a lot of red anodized aluminum on here now. All of the front steering components have been changed over. The front shock tower has been changed. The battery tie down has been changed. Rear shock towers. We've got a whole new motor and ESC combo in here. We've upgraded to the BL2S 3300 brushless system here. So still 2S. Really all you need for drifting. Nobody runs more than 2S at my track anyway. Also, of course, the underglow lighting system, which is really interesting. It's COB. LED cob lighting, which is just a chip on board. This is the flexible style of COB, and it's a lot less lighting than I thought there would be. I thought there would have had to have been more, but this is really quite efficient, works quite well. It'd be awesome if they did a kit that did something in the front and the rear as well. I feel like that's maybe a bit of a miss, but this was a bolt-on to an existing kit. It would, yeah, I don't know where they would put it, but I guess they could have done something here. Maybe replace this whole front bit. I guess it's the wiring and stuff. Maybe that's why they didn't do it, but it would have been cool to see more lighting. You know what? I have lots of COB lighting. Maybe we can add something ourselves. But regardless, it is great to see that they're still supporting this platform. I'm not sure how much of this already existed before. If it did, throw a comment down below and tell me what I don't know. Of course, if you're enjoying this video and you like seeing upgrades, extra stuff put onto cars and trucks, throw a comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. And you can pretty much bank on there always being a new episode of this show every Thursday, for the most part. Maybe not the day after Christmas. Actually, no, there will be, but it'll be a special episode. Stay tuned for that. But yes, thanks of course to Traxxas for sending me all these upgrades. We've not just done a brushless motor conversion, we've also added their most powerful 600 ounce-inches of torque, 0.13 speed servo. So that will also help when this car is under power. Of course, it does have a gyro. It's not working right now because I haven't connected the transmitter because I don't know what I did with it. But everything went pretty well in terms of upgrades and installation. All the steering elements totally drop right in. No problems there. The only issue I had was I did have to cut the tabs off of the BL2S ESC in order to get it to fit between the motor and the radio box. It's a pretty tight fit in there, and getting rid of those and using some double-sided tape, which they do include, made it sit perfectly fine in there. And because this is a drift car, it's not going to be doing any flips. God, I hope it doesn't do any flips. Great drift car. Thanks, of course, to Traxxas for sending me all these upgrades. This is obviously very spendy, and I wouldn't recommend throwing all of them on all at once, like I've done, because now you don't know where things changed and what may have changed the whole drift dynamic. I have yet to actually take it back to the drift track. I hope to get there soon. I also want to do some go-karting over the holiday. What's your go-to adventure for your holiday time, whatever time you might get off work or school? Hopefully you work. I know my audience, most of you work. But yeah, what is your go-to adventure when you are on vacation? Love to hear from you. Find out what it is you do when you're not RCing or working. All right, so there we go. Great looking upgrades on this car. Can't wait to take it out. On to the next thing. What's next? I don't know. Frank, you RC fabricating genius. Here's what's next on the bench. This is a rockabilly cage. This came from my friend Frank, who's known as RC Fabricator on Discord and Instagram and all those good places. And this is the cage for Josh's rockabilly build along. And I am so excited to have this. I have to say though, Frank surprised me. This was not the state in which I thought I was going to be receiving it. He told me he was going to tack it together loosely and leave the rest to me. This is not that. This is completely primed and completely finished. It's absolutely gorgeous, and his attention to detail and his quality of workmanship is just second to none. It's so straight and so perfect and so much better than what I could have done. But it did leave me a bit tiny disappointed because I was really looking forward to doing some brazing. I've actually set up the shop. It's ready for brazing again after my big cleanup and my big, remodel and my new desk and my new workbench over here that I did a whole bunch of work to in preparation for having this ready to go. So now I don't really know what to do with myself. I'm gonna have to get printing on all the parts and start assembling all the bits to make this truck happen. But if you are a part of this build along, I'm sure you're already way ahead of where I'm at. I know a lot of people have already finished theirs. So I definitely have some work ahead of me, but man, I'm so excited about this build off. It's really fun. The Jimmy's buggy, I think was great. I don't really remember because I don't have it still. Thankfully though, I am going to visit Josh in January, and maybe I'll just bring it home with me. Unbelievable. Please tell him he's scum. But yes, thanks Frank so much for this. This is way above and beyond. And he also sent some really cool Hot Wheels as well, which will be on mail call today, hopefully, if I can remember. And yeah, I think that's going to do it though. Yeah, I've got so much ahead of me on this project. Now I've got that project going, a bunch of other projects that I haven't finished, including that Baja truck. I really should get back on that, but I'm sort of stumped a little bit on building that. I'm not even sure I want to keep going with it. I've lost interest. That happens if you let these things sit too long. So don't do that. I almost forgot one more thing. Here's the HPI Venture 18, which you'll notice has got a wheel and tire swap. These are Proline Toyo Open Countries, the 1.0. Already pre-mounted on some, I think these are the Impulse wheel. I can never remember what Proline calls their wheel, but I think this looks way better now. A lot more stock, and with more rubber and less wheel, it feels more realistic. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. It certainly is going to hamper performance because those other wheels and tires were much chunkier. Though, you know me, I'm not much of a performance guy. I guess I'm not much of a builder guy either. All right, just a quick look at that. I think it looks way better now. Let me know what you think down below. So with that, it's actually the last episode before the holidays, so I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. I hope that you get everything that's on your list. I've already gotten everything on my list. It's you. Cringe. All right, that's gonna do it. Thanks so much for watching. See you again next week. Yeah, see you again next week.